Hi guys, Dave's here with Dave's Corner. So what we are going to talk about today is tarot. We're going to talk more about it, and I'm going to do a little mini reading for you. So why do I regularly do videos with tarot? The reason why is because I believe that the tarot is a tool that can be very, very helpful for just about anybody who is open to it. There are people who are skeptical out there, and I can't say that I blame them because I was once one of those people. I used to think, how can anybody get psychic information from a piece of paper? Okay. What is it about this that, symbolizes the fact that love could be coming into your life? And that's what this card means, by the way. We'll get into that, maybe, depending on what other cards get drawn up. However, when I grew up, I was obsessed with tarot cards. Ever since I saw an episode of Tales from the Darkside, you guys may remember the show that played on Saturday nights. It had that creepy music. It was so freaky, but it was a great show. There was an episode about an evil deck of tarot cards, and the reader could not get rid of them. When she would read with these cards, a horrible message would come out, and then that message would come true, in the very near future. And she could not get rid of them. She was stuck with them, and basically, that's kind of beside the point. But the point is, when I was a kid, I saw this and I had felt drawn. So I went through a period of time where I believed that the tarot cards were not a good thing, that they did not come from a good source, that, I was not being a good Christian or Catholic by even so much as thinking about reading the cards. And I've since learned that that belief was just a belief, and that was it, because the truth is, since I started using the tarot, I have felt more connected to my higher power, and I believe that I was wrong, and I'm not saying that anybody else is wrong if you don't believe in the tarot cards. Your relationship with whatever you view is completely between you, and I absolutely respect and bless that. However, I am 300% convinced that the tarot is a great tool. So that's why I include, clips on the tarot in addition to other things, that help to find a person, help a person find some inner peace. So to tell you a little bit of information on how the tarot works, this is the other thing. With any tarot clip that I do, I'm going to add in a little bit of information for you, so that if theoretically you were to watch all of my videos on tarot, you would probably end up being able to read with a tarot deck. And of course, anybody can ask me any types of questions on the tarot through my email, through Facebook Messenger. It's absolutely fine. So basically, as I have said before, there are a total of 5 suits in the tarot. They came originally, the actual origin of the tarot, no one, knows completely, but it's, the earliest confirmed time would be, I believe, Renaissance Italy. The first, Italy in the 1400s, so I think that may have been before the Renaissance, I don't know. Doesn't matter, but the point is, they have a history. You can look it up on Google. It's fascinating. So, 5 suits, okay? You have 4 suits which correspond to the modern day deck of playing cards. You've got the diamonds, the clubs, you've got the spades, and you have the hearts. Whereas in the tarot, you have the four, you have your cups, which correspond to the hearts, you have your swords, which correspond to your spades, you have your wands, which correspond to the clubs, and you have your pentacles or coins, and they correspond to the diamonds. I say this every clip whenever I, mention the word pentacle. I do not believe the pentagram, I do not believe it is the sign of Satan. I believe that that is a sign of nature, the 5 elements. Okay, that's just me. So, you have a 5th suit, and this is not in the player's card deck, okay, and that is called the Major Arcana, and that's where you get the cards that we all see in the movies, the first cards that a person tends to think of when they hear the word tarot. The Lovers, Death, the Sun, the Star. Those cards represent major themes. If, for example, how the tarot works is this, you ask a question, you clear your head, you pull out a card, and the card has a meaning, and the card is also a symbol of a type of energy, okay? Energy, that's the key. And that delineates the reason why you may see cards that may predict certain things. People believe that the Akashic Records have all information on any person. If I remember this correctly, it may not be. But, there's a lot going on with the Akashic Records in terms of what supposedly, they have. So, but besides that, all right, each card has an energy to it, it has a meaning to it, and, all pending on what you see and what resonates with you, because that's the other key, it has to kind of click. You have to kind of have the feeling, ooh, that makes sense. It needs to feel like that. If the card does have meaning for you at the time, and in many cases it does, and in other cases, if, for example, I'm reading for someone and there is no connection, there's no juju going on, I'm not going to know what the cards are trying to say. I may say, yeah, this card means a love offering, and it may not make any sense to the other person at all, who, that may be the furthest thing from the person's life. There's no juju going on. It could also be something like this. This is an example of, where the power of the reading is so there. It's almost like a cell phone call. There's going to be cell phone calls that are very, very easy to engage in because the reception is awesome. When I read for my sister, I've read for her many, 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 many times, for many years, and I don't believe there's even one reading that did not make sense. Not one. When I read, I have no idea what's going on with the other person. I'm not that kind of psychic, I don't have that gift. However, when I read the cards and I am looking at what the cards mean, in terms of, even where they are placed, for example, this card, Love Offering, may be in the near future position, which would basically say that, guess what? You're going to be falling in love in the near future, or in the near future, someone's going to come who's going to offer, an open heart to you, that kind of a thing. And, I can get that, and many, many, many times that will resonate with the other person, and that's what I'm talking about. It's not like, and I also say, I give the caveat that, I do not believe that the purpose of the cards is to necessarily predict the future, because I also believe that there is no future. I believe that it's always now. That is beside the point. If you have followed my other videos, you will understand why, and that it's not really as crazy as that may sound. Okay. So, now where was I going with this? Anyway, so that's some information on the tarot for you. Basically why I feel that, sometimes certain readings, may not have a lot of validity, and other times, it's very clear what the cards are trying to tell you. And the cards are paper, but it's the energy behind them, and it's the energy between the reader, the querent. There's a whole, energetic thing going on, and that's the message. It's not, oh, in 2 weeks' time, you're going to fall in love. No, it doesn't work like that. At least not with me, it doesn't. It's kind of like you look at the card, and then you let your instinct come. Yes, you know what the card means, but it's your instinct and it's your intuition. That's going to be your key for the reading. And intuition is a very tricky thing. I mean, some people have the gift, other people, have it, but maybe latent, and other people don't have it at all. And that's not a put down. It just means that, if you don't have that sense of intuition, then chances are the readings you give to yourself or other people may not make a lot of sense. That's okay. It's fine. It is what it is. So let's pull a card, okay? Now, my eyes are closed and I cannot see what I'm pulling. This is Amy Zerner's and Monte Farber's Enchanted Tarot deck. It's my favorite. Love it. And I'm going to leave a link to Amazon, their 25th anniversary Enchanted Tarot deck. I have one on its way. It is amazing. Sorry, I got to sponsor them. I love those guys. All right. Now let's pull this. What is this? Ace of Wands. And you know what's really weird? When I did a reading for myself, this was the first card that got pulled. Ace of Wands. Wow. That's really, really cool. So I'm going to put it down. An Ace of Wands means it's an ace. Okay, this would be the equivalent of the Ace of Clubs in a player's card deck. So aces are beginnings, and aces also mean the qualities of the suit. All right, clubs are all about career. They're all about passion. They're all about fun. They're all about excitement. If you're bored, if you're in a rut, this is definitely something you want to see, the Ace of Wands, because it means that you are about to enter a new chapter involving qualities of the suit, either a new career, it's either something passionate, it's either something fun, something vibrant, okay? If you follow my Facebook posts, you'll know that I do these videos all the time. You'll know that I'm thinking about making some improvements for my house. You know that I have I'm completely obsessed with kombucha and, water kefir, and, I'm very excited about those things, So it can mean any of those things, and this can also mean, it can be a message saying, Dave, you're at the beginning of a new chapter, man, have some fun. Okay, it might be something like that. Whatever is jumping out at you, that's what the card is trying to tell you. And what jumps out to me with the Ace of Wands is, keep making these videos. That's what that says to me right off the cuff, because they're exciting, they're fun, I like it, and you never know who may end up, watching one of these and maybe wanting to pick it up as a main series. Who knows? I'm just saying. Law of attraction, manifestation. Okay, enough about that. Now, card number 2. Here it is, and the King of Hearts. I see this all the time. This is how you also know that the cards have meaning when you keep drawing the same ones over and over and over again. Now, the King of Hearts, what is this? This means one of two things, okay? This either means that I'm about to meet somebody who fits these qualities if I haven't already, and I have met somebody who has these qualities. And that is somebody who is kind. That is somebody who is calm. That is someone who is gentle. Someone who's very lovable. And, someone who is like kind of a therapist or a counselor. Somebody with a calm demeanor. That's interpretation number 1. The other interpretation is this is me. These are qualities that I need to have right now. Maybe I need to be patient with someone or something. Maybe, let's just say, okay, career. Gee, I want things to take off. Be like the King of Hearts, be patient. That's what this could be telling me too. So, this is why I want to call. This is why I want to draw another card. All right. What is this? The Queen of Swords. Okay, great. We have a king and we have a queen. Now, kings, queens, and knights. All right, and the knights would probably be the equivalent of a jack. Because in the tarot there are pages, which are offers and opportunities, like the Page of Cups that we saw earlier. Okay, cups, that usually has to do with love. Knights are, they're more extremists. They're, people who tend to flip-flop from one extreme to the other. They tend to be adolescents. They tend to be, or younger-hearted people who need to mature and stabilize a little bit. All right, the Knight of Wands, for example, he is all over the place. He's passionate. He is a slut. He goes and is very promiscuous. He goes to extremes. He likes to drink. He likes to do his drugs. He likes to travel. But he's fun. So much fun. Because knights are also good guys too. They just have to calm it down a little bit. As opposed to the King of Wands, who has all of those traits, but he's very mature. He's inspirational. He, leads people. He has, a magnetism, about him. Whereas the queen, the queens they tend to embody the qualities, whereas the kings tend to express them in outward ways. Both the kings and queens are mature, whereas the knight is not, and the page is more of an offer, an opportunity. The pages aren't even really people. I don't see them as people, even though they could be seen as a child. Page of Coins, for example, is often seen as a student. Fine. That's how you want to view it. Totally cool. I just happen to see the Page of Coins as a paycheck. Okay. So the Queen of Swords. What the Queen of Swords means, she is a widow. She is a divorced woman. She is a, somebody who has had death in her life. And unfortunately for me, I've had all of these things happen. And she's independent, she's strong, she's solid, she's on her own, she's independent. And the cards could be saying to me, Dave, you're single now, embrace your singlehood, keep your heart open, and, be a good guy for whoever, that special someone is, but retain your independence, because people lose their independence often when they become involved with someone on a romantic level. It's very true. The other thing this could mean is the thing about the Queen of Swords. She says what she means what she says, okay? And she has a complete shit detector, all right? There's nobody tricking her, there's nobody fooling her, She's kind of like the single mom of the girl who is introducing her boyfriend, and the mom is gonna he's trouble, he needs to go. The Queen of Swords would say that. Sophia from the Golden Girls, she's the Queen of Swords. Dorothy, she's the Queen of Swords, okay? Blanche is the Knight of Wands, like I was talking about, and Rose could be the Queen of Cups, because she's soft and she's empathetic and all of those really, really good things. So what could this card be saying to me? So you go to whatever resonates with you. And what this means is to accept the fact that I'm in a new chapter, and to accept the fact that I've had loss, and to embrace the passions, and to move forward, and to be patient with everything, because it is all going to work out like it is right now. So that's how I would interpret that. And the purpose of this is not to give myself a reading with all of you watching. It is to demonstrate to you the way I feel a good tarot reading can work. And you will also probably make note to yourself too that I didn't do a 15-card spread. I did a very easy 3-card layout. I didn't even have to lay them down. I looked, I got the interpretation and the overall message. So the overall message of this reading is, Dave, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Just embrace your good qualities. Let go of let go of whatever's not serving you. True, that's a very general message, but this does mean something new, something passionate. This does mean being by yourself and being fine with it. This means, wrong one. This means being patient. So, there is some validity to this reading, I feel. And like I said, it doesn't mean that, it doesn't necessarily mean that my life is a specific way. These are words of advice. These are words of, assistance. And that's the way the tarot works, You also will notice as well that I wasn't asking the cards anything specific. I wasn't saying, oh, am I going to end up with this person? Or am I going to win the lottery in 5 years? Those are not questions that you should even ask the tarot if you ask me. Because, I just think that you need to be open to whatever information is going to come. And there are readers who can get that information and be very accurate with it. For me, however, I just tend not to ask those questions when I do a reading for myself. And there's plenty of times when I've gone to psychics where I've wanted to know very specific things because, here in the palm of your hands, you have this tool that can give you things that you want to know that another person really can't tell you and that you can't tell yourself. So that's how, so I wanted to just give you an example, once again, of how the tarot works, how I use the tarot, and why I feel that it's helped me, and it's been an ally for me. But anyhow, if anybody has any questions, or if anybody doesn't agree with anything that I've said in this video, totally okay. You've got your opinion. That's great. That's awesome. That's great. I honor your opinion and I honor, your stance. So anyway, you folks have a good day and we'll talk soon. Namaste.